That is the truth. Big truth. Big truth. There is hope. There is hope. There is hope for broken marriages. There is hope. There's a program I was following with an American, I don't know whether that guy was a pastor, but he actually spoke like a pastor. And he was saying that a word asked him to pray for his ex. He had divorced. So he was saying that what he actually knows now, if he knew then, maybe he would not divorce his ex, but he prays that she finds a good life and that she succeeds in her new marriage. So apparently the ex was already married, which means that if that lady was not yet married, this man would have gone back. So knowledge is readily available and there is hope. A lot of people now know things that they didn't know and were just living their life and thinking and hoping. Now, let me share a myth. A myth in marriage, you think that it is how long you have stayed in your marriage that guarantees a good one. How long? I mean, there was one point in Bengui where I come from, some two very mature parents were divorcing, and I was like, I mean, Bengui is not such a big town, it's a small village. And I'm like, not leave, but then I was not even expecting this. They were old. They were old. They divorced and the mama just checked out, just went her to America to live with her children. And I was like, at this age, because to me, I thought that the longer you have stayed in marriage, the longer you even stay. Like, it's a guarantee that you can never divorce. But, I came to discover that it gets to a point where some women have taken and taken and taken and taken, and then they just get to that point where, you know what, enough of this thing. I've lived my young age going through this. I'm not going to spend my old age in this thing. Let me go and live where I will live my life happily, peacefully, before their own day comes. So a lot of the time, it's not how long you've been there that guarantees that it's going to work. That's it. I just came. Yes, ma'am.
Too much. But then it is so touchy because what you touch a friend, a couple that was a classmate who was happily married. I mean, when I say happily, it was sick. That kind of true love. I remember I spent time with them. I would go to Boya, they were in Boya in the days, and then they would come to Yaoundé. I mean, an ideal couple where they didn't even have children at first. I think it took them over 10, 12 years to have their first baby. But you saw them like we had a tennis club, they're together, whether they're men or women in the club or not, that couple, they were always like together. Ideal couple. Believe me, God will bless them with the first child. It takes long, then they had the second one. Do you know that after about 33, 44 years of marriage, this marriage, the breakup, that's the divorce. I'm talking like this, I'm still feeling the pain because there's nothing in the world that made me to believe that this thing could happen. I felt so shocked. I felt so bad. I felt so,
yes.
And as we talk, they went their different ways.
Yes.
And the man even finally died. The woman just became, that is the truth. Just sharing. It made me feel frustrated until I was the one hearing it. So
yes.
What you say is really true. Oh, this statement really good. And sometimes they put on you. Yes. Look like people sometimes don't like happy people. And yesterday you were talking about trauma sharing. Many people, I think, they're scared because sometimes you share, like outside too has become funny where people pray. They don't want to see people happy. So sometimes you go and share, and that can even be it. One of my friends, a younger mate of mine with whom we share a lot in our marriages, one another, she told me that she was with this friend and they were sharing, like you could be talking your own things, I'm talking mine. And then this woman took
Yes.
her on what she had shared and went and told her husband.
What?
And the
You see?
husband will eventually go and tell that man. I'm talking about truth, things that I lived. I mean, so you see, this is such a complex environment. You want to share and all that, but I pray that since when you have Christ, you are really a Christian. Sometimes it helps you. And you're saying that
Yeah.
people have intentionally now want to make it work. Because when you see that your surrounding are those people who want you to really fail, you better say, I will make this thing work. And it's for, I mean, I
It will
think
work.
that's
Right.
another point that you said, which is
Mhm.
really nice. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you for just sharing that. That's a powerful story you just shared there to just confirm this thing that I was saying. That is not how long you've been in it that guarantees that it's going to stay. You know, marriage is something you keep working on your marriage. You keep working on it. 2 days really look like the same. You can just wake up in the morning and something is just like, what is happening? Is it the person I knew? What is going on? You need to keep working on it for it to work. More and more people are putting in the effort. The number of people that call me on a daily basis to check one thing, to follow up, to ask for this, to check for counseling is a sign. It's an indication that, see, people need help and they want to make it work. Because if they don't want to make it work, they will just walk away. They will not look for anybody to come and do anything for them. They walk away. But the fact that people are sorting help, reaching out, is a sign that they want it to work. And when they reach out and they are counseled or coached very well, they go back and make it work. I don't even know how many at the verge of divorce that I've spoken to, and the whole thing just reversed. And one of them was just laughing and laughing like she uncontrollably, because she thought that it was finished, it was gone, it was all gone. And then I made her see her own mistakes. I made her see, because this unforgiving attitude is one thing that kills people. It kills people. You know, you just think that, okay, this man has done his worst, and so you really cannot. Because if somebody is remorseful about what they did, if they feel bad, they're kind of repenting and feeling sorry for what they did, it's enough reason to even say, okay, it's fine. It's fine. And then another thing is, you yourself, you're not even perfect. The fact you didn't do that one, but there are also your own things that if we said, okay, nobody is perfect. Are you also perfect? So I've come across cases like that where people just are adamant, and then you call them to order to see that there's no point to you holding this, and people relax and things change. Things change. Yep. Any other contribution or question? Today we're just sharing about myths and truths. Any truth to balance the myths with?
Yes, for me, it's just something I thought to buttress the fact that the media is not helping. The media is on a demonic agenda. They will do everything to force news down people's throats. And I don't know, as a scientific explanation, that if the more you hear what you hear, you're drawn to, you lean towards what you hear the more. I think it's biblically true that you lean towards what, as there's a thing about hearing. So they do all in their power to force information down people's throats anyhow, on social media, on TV, by film. While you were talking, I just scanned through. I don't watch movies a lot in the recent past, But the few that I walk in and watch my sister watching, she's watching about marriages, divorce. There's a Nigerian thing about divorce. Always. Like, so I just think it's a demonic agenda that people should give attention to, or that we as counselors under you can also point out to people that see what the enemy is doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. So, and this is actually the motive behind the School of Marriage Counseling. We really want to train as many counselors as possible so that you have many more people that can be able to help people. This is our own way of doing what? Reducing the divorce rate. Because the many more counselors we have, the many more people will have the right counsel. What most people are giving others out there is just marriage advice. Marriage advice is not marriage counseling. It's not professional. People usually counsel, they just advise you from their experience. But it is good to add this professional touch to it so that you will know exactly when we do the tools and techniques of coaching. That will teach you how to take somebody step by step in counseling. Step by step, how to, carry somebody in, counsel somebody, coach somebody. I'm going to give you a framework around there that will help you. So that when you follow that, you'll be able to, guide people better. You'll be able to guide people. When you guide people well in marriage, their marriages will not break. They will not.
Mm-hmm.
They will not. Mm-hmm. Me, when I was I used to share my story. The time in their life, they were very happy together, the beginning of their marriage. But at some point, when I went to school and came back, I went to the boarding school. When I came back, I just noticed the atmosphere had changed. They were not fine again. My father was just coming, passing and just going, not talking to my mom. I'd never seen this. So that didn't go down well with me. I felt so bad about it. So I can even imagine, because I had seen the other side and I knew that this is exactly how marriage is going to be. That first part I saw. They were so always together, both of them being teachers. They could always be together. They were going out, coming in, doing their things. You could see togetherness. You could see a bond. But something they had their issues, and the thing was falling apart. Though they managed and patched it up and came back. But that period was hell. And that was when I said to myself, this is not the part of marriage I want. It's the other one. So I had the opportunity to even see both sides, to see the two, to see the good and the bad. So I made my choice. I said, mine has to be good. So I went into marriage. Even learning about marriage because I wanted to be a counselor. But because I wanted mine marriage or women. If it's not talk about marriage, talk about women. One day I was attending a conference, a paid conference like this, and somebody was making a very powerful statement. He said, any few dive in. He said you must have read books in that field which are equal to your that day. That thing was online, so but it's not like I've read them from cover to cover. Right now, the way I do with books, or open any book that speaks on that topic, looking for different. So when I went to my shelf, counting, that as of that, I'm talking about that man said, so if you want specialist in finance and you are 30 years of age, you must have read 30 books on finance, for instance. That's what he was saying. So at that time, I was grooming myself. I was buying those books for myself to read and know how to live and know how to do marriage. Then, as God will have it, as you are growing older and finding purpose and discovering that, oh, all these things you are doing is not for you, God may open your eyes to see that, oh, all these things is not about you, my dear. It's not about you, my friend. I'll push you to buy this, but it's not for you. It's for the people I want you to help. That's when I actually understood now why I kept buying books. Women that have this, women that, women this, relationship, this relation. I have books on marriage, uncountable, all sorts of books. But they help me. They help me. Now I'm able to help many other people because I was able to help myself. I was intentional because I had seen that, okay, marriage could be good and marriage could get bad. So I didn't want to get to be good and then get bad at some point. I don't want it to get bad at some point. So I've seen the two sides of things. And I said, this is the side I want, this is where I want to be. I don't want this other side. So I was intentional about building it. I was intentional about working on it. And I knew that there was work to be done. So it is also a myth to think that there is no work to do. Just get married, go there, sit there. Is it to work on your marriage for the marriage to mm-hmm. Oh. Any question or contribution? If not, we'll call it a day. Usually I don't like to go above certain hour because people come maybe tired. I want to be with you while you are fresh. By the time you want to get tired to go to bed, we are done. So if there's no question and no contribution, we'll call it quit tonight. I want to just pray. I'm praying for you guys that the Lord will be our strength. The Lord will lead us.